Welcome to the Roman city of Pompeii, just southeast of Naples, Italy. Settled by the Greek, the Bay of Naples was a very popular destination for the wealthy people of Rome. Sophisticated people, homes, and villas surrounded the beautiful city, residing by the large Mount Vesuvius with views of the beautiful blue ocean. The beauty of Pompeii was soon to become the opposite, a place of destruction, death, and for years, the erasing of human life. In October 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, sending a blast of ashes, pumice, rocks, and volcanic gases into the sky. Most Pompeians were able to leave before matters got worse. Soon after, a 100-mile-per-hour rush of superheated poison gas and pulverized rock came flooding out of the mountain and onto the people, places, and things of Pompeii, swallowing it in one single swoop. Quoted by Pliny the Younger, "I believed I was perishing with the world, and the world with me." Roughly about 2,000 Pompeii citizens died that day, but the eruption killed 16,000 in some. For almost 2,000 years later, Pompeii remained untouched, engulfed in volcanic ash, preserved as if it hadn't ever been touched. In 1748, explorers discovered the city of Pompeii just as it was years ago. Skeletons, homes, buildings, and everyday items still remained in the exact same position they were left in. Archaeologists specifically were absolutely fascinated by the history of Pompeii and desired to discover anything and everything they could about the people, culture, and in our case, art. Created by some of the great masters of the Italian Renaissance, including Giotto, Raphael, and Michelangelo, frescoes told a whole story. Due to the preservation of the volcanic ash, the frescoes of Pompeii remained untouched, elegant, and full of color. The first picture we see on the top left is a Roman fresco with a banquet scene from the Casa dei Casti Amante in Pompeii. The next picture in the bottom left, once identified as a music lesson, probably depicts a scene of love set inside a house. A woman playing a kithara, which is a type of lyre, sits with her lover who gazes adoringly at her. This is from Pompeii in modern-day Italy. And the last picture is Priapus from the house of the Vedi. We will now watch a short clip explaining Michelangelo's fresco painting technique. Frescoes are categorized into four different themes, beginning with Greek mythology. The Roman people deeply admired the Greeks and Greek mythology and saw it as very elegant and sophisticated. In the homes of the wealthy, they did everything they could to align themselves with the elegance of Greek culture. So, in their homes, they decorated rooms with frescoes of scenes from Greek mythology. The next category is religion and cults. Just like today, the Romans valued religion and faith. Because many of the residents of Pompeii were wealthy, they had their own religious shrines featuring fresco paintings of gods and goddesses. The Romans also were members of strange cults in their community. For example, the cult of Isis. There was a temple to Isis that laid within Pompeii with vivid and beautiful frescoes. These cults idolized their leaders and, in turn, featured them on their pieces of art that they proudly displayed. Next is the category of women. Women in Pompeii were seen as less than and were very low in the social hierarchy. All that was expected of a woman in Pompeii was to reproduce and to serve her family. Women were featured in frescoes for their beauty and for their looks, and generally were seen in portraits. These women did not receive much of an education and in turn prepared for marriage. Finally, we can categorize the fourth theme as sex. In Roman and Greek culture, sex and erotic images were broadcasted very publicly and were very widely accepted. The penis was an important part of these erotic images, as it seemed to represent strength, luck, and reproduction. In their culture, it brought goodness. Therefore, it was seen a lot in these frescoes. Pornographic frescoes also were discovered, but the true purpose of these is still yet to be determined. In the year 1882, the book History of Decorative Wall Painting in Pompeii was published, written by Auguste Mao. This book categorizes frescoes into a range of decorative styles, putting 200 years of worth of frescoes into 4 categories. Each category develops after the next, becoming better and better. First is Fake It Till You Make It, which in sum explains how wealthier individuals commission artists to paint imitations of materials like specific marbles, taking examples from early Hellenistic painting styles, which Mao says is the, quote, incrustation style, end quote. Artists continued to evolve, and the appearance of these fake materials became so realistic that it was hard to tell which was real and which was not. Next is tricking the eye, illusionistic renderings of architectural elements like columns, stoas, and buildings. This is the, quote, architectural style, end quote. Artists use different styles of shading and perspective to deceive the eye, making a certain object seem larger, smaller, or even to trick a viewer into thinking they are looking through something. The third category is flights of fancy, the quote, ornate style. Depicted unrealistic stylized columns and pediments created from the artist's imagination. These paintings almost distorted reality in a sense, as the artist exaggerated its pieces rather than trying to deceive the eye, unlike its predecessor. During this style, Egyptian themes and imagery were introduced. Lastly, Mao labeled this category as "now mix them all together," best described as a combination of all the 3 styles before it. This style was called the, quote, intricate style, end quote, as it took aspects from each style before it and mixed them together, creating almost a busy painting with many features to acknowledge. These 4th style paintings created picture galleries by its use of all the themes discussed previously, as well as the different styles of shading, details, and creation. In conclusion, the frescoes of Pompeii shine a light on the hidden lives of the Pompeian people. It draws us in deeper, allowing us to connect with the part of history that helped to pave the way for future artists and brilliant creations. We value these frescoes deeply, and in turn, we tell their stories.